You got demons. What's going on here?
What's up, everybody? Welcome. How we doing out there?
Where'd Mel go? There she is.
What is
There
this?
she
I had a hard time getting off the floor.
I thought the Boglin ate you.
You like
What's
our
going
little guy
on,
there?
everybody?
All right, welcome to Rad Pack episode 3. We are talking all things
What's going on, everybody?
mini monsters tonight. Hey, get out of here. All right, so you know how we roll. Welcome everybody. We'll get to the chat in a second. People are still kind of pouring in. We're gonna be talking the Rad 9. Now, what that is, it's similar to like a top 10, but we're gonna create a Rad 9. There's 3 of us. We're gonna pick 9 movies from this subgenre of mini monsters and kind of talk about them with you guys, get some advice from you guys or ideas, or hey, maybe we forgot about a couple good ones that you guys can bring to the table, and we'll chat about some of our favorites here. Now, gang, when it comes to mini monsters, you know, there were so many that we could choose from. The biggest rule that we created was no toys. So basically, like Puppet Master, Chucky, out. So anything that's like a toy, like the Zuni doll, out. Like, so that was a little bit tougher too, is because we wanted to make sure that we were just going to pick a specific type of mini monster, right?
Right. Also, it wasn't an easy thing to narrow these down because we also didn't we exclude, for the most part, actually, now that I'm seeing one of these, we broke the rule a little bit, but no, we decided on no aliens, right?
Yeah. we kind of
broke that. We kind of broke that
rule
one
a couple times on that.
And then what was the other one? Like no, like leprechauns
Trolls.
or elves or
No
trolls
trolls.
or
no trolls, no trolls. You got it. So yeah, see, Justin Smith said that in there. No trolls. So yeah, guys. So again, welcome. This is the G-rated superstar himself. This is the dude with Raditude. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. Next to me over here, I got Mel from My Killer Podcast, the Squishmaster herself.
Oh,
What?
goody.
You don't like the Squishmaster?
I mean, I'll take it.
We've got Slippy Longstocking over here, Mel from My Killer Podcast. And down below me, we've got the Mouth of Radness, Mr. Dead Couch himself, Justin from Movie Watch Daily. What is going on, guys?
What's going on, everybody?
What's up? Happy to be
Welcome,
here.
welcome.
Excited.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, so Mike Barrett jumps in the chat. He said, what about dolls? We're going to consider those the same as toys. So they're not going to be in this lineup here.
Maybe we could do a Rad 9 doll movies in the future.
we did talk about that. I think we're definitely going to do that based on how this goes tonight. If you guys like this concept, then there's so many things we can kind of go through here. But what I'll do is I'll jump in the chat now. We'll answer any questions you guys have, say hi, see who is in here, and then I'll throw it to these guys here. So Lepke Visions Films is in here. He said he's coming straight from the Dead Pit and CHH stream. Yeah, so guys,
this is the official after party.
It is the after party. I was lucky enough to be able to go on there and say what's up to them and tell everybody that we were going on right after them. So thank you, Christian. And Dead Pit, as always, their story rules. So go check that out if you guys have not. Raised on Fiction is here. He said, Cruise is my first horror experience as a kid. Still to this day. Yeah, what do you guys, we'll talk about it actually a little bit more as we go. Because as you know, I will say that we will probably be talking about that later on, and hopefully you're still in here, Raised by Fiction. Hall and Oates, good evening, Radback.
What's up?
Huxpock Movie Culture Cafe says, what's up? What's up, Huck? We've got Adam's 80s. Bigger, better, radder. I like that.
That's right, Adam.
We got... I got everything I ever wanted, and I won't get it back. That's Mr. West over there. No UB tonight. UB Uncle Bill is on a radcation right now, I think. So he ain't here.
I start calling him UR now. Uncle Rad.
Uncle Rad, yeah, he's on vacation right now with his family, his big family. We've got 100. What's up, everybody? Hey, Huck Holland. Basement Blues, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
What is up? Saturn Video, what's going on? All right, guys, I'll get back to the chat as we go. Mel, what's going on, kid? What's been going on with you over on the channel?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just making videos, starting wars, doing the thing.
That's right. You did start a war, didn't you? Some kind of. Well, that's why you've got the nickname Slippy Longstocking, because you're very much.
I was wondering. I was like, I thought you were tying that in with Squishy, and I was like, this is a rated G.
No, you were very. It's all about the slips, you know. So you're definitely the Slippy Longstocking of the Rad Pack. I'll tell you that right now.
Nice.
So yeah, so she's starting slip cover wars, guys. So if you like hollow pieces of cardboard, she's starting a war over that. You know.
I do.
No slip, no dip.
So she's a girl if you're into slip covers. Justin, what have you been doing, man? Just eating?
That's a joke. I'm the fat kid in the Rat Pack now.
What the?
I love it.
I never said that.
We're
what you didn't
off
say.
Hardcore right here.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm choking on my Sour Patch Kids.
You told me you were going to be eating Skittles. What happened?
I feel like the guy in Ghoulies 3 where he stacks all the pizzas together into a ball and just takes a massive bite out of all of them at once. I've just been chilling, man. I've been doing a lot of spirit shopping. I have a lot of spirits opening up pretty early around me. So I'm in the process of editing a couple spirit vlogs. I picked up a couple really cool trick-or-treat items, some things that I didn't see last year. I'm seeing a lot of really, really cool stuff coming to Spirit. So I got movie reviews coming up, some vlogs. As you guys know, I'm balancing both channels. So movie reviews and then collecting on the dead couch, but spending too much money at Spirit, man.
Yeah, I haven't been at mine yet. I assume it's open at this point. I'm seeing everybody kind of talk about it, but I don't know. Mel, have you?
I Googled it the other day. My spirits are open, but I'm going on Saturday. I'm gonna buy some stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna buy. There's
some cool stuff, man.
Hopefully I can find that cotton candy blaster.
I saw a ton where I was at, and they also have I don't know if you guys have seen the snow globes. It's like I got a motorized shorty that spins around inside the Killer Clown snow globe. There's some really cool stuff. Tons of trick-or-treat stuff. They really expanded the trick-or-treat Killer Clowns. It's man, they're really doing it big this year.
I saw your video where you were like testing the cotton candy blasters and none of them were working. You tested
a couple of them were worn out.
3 of them, and there was like none of them worked.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was up with that. I didn't buy. Luckily, I got mine last year, so
that's gonna be my luck.
They're probably from last year, so they're the same ones that just didn't sell.
Right.
The
they probably
are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
But yeah, guys. So again, we're talking all things mini monster movies. So what we're going to think about doing here is kind of just going around the table, throwing out one, and just kind of chatting about it a little bit, and maybe talk about our experience with it, our memories with it, and when's the last time we've seen it. Because some of these I've seen recently, some of these I've seen a million times, and some I haven't seen in years. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say and the chat as well. And then what we'll do is after we go through each, first round, second round, third round, we'll go back to the chat and kind of see what everybody's talking about over there. How's that sound?
Let's do it.
All right. But before we start, I just want to give a little shout out. Look at this. This intro is pumping me up. See, we want to get everybody excited, before we start up. So the first one I want to talk about is kind of the one that I feel is like, it's not technically the one that started it all when you start seeing when a lot of these were made, but I feel this really kickstarted this genre a lot. And it was, it was a blockbuster. I'm sure you guys know the one that I'm going to bring up first, obviously, is 1984's Gremlins. Huge fan. Look at this. We all have different editions too. Look at that.
Oh, mine's a DVD. This is garbage.
Oh, hey. That one got me through
a box set or something.
That one
doesn't have a slip
lot
cover.
Of years.
Right. So I need to get rid of this.
What about this 4K steel? No?
I remember when that one came out.
But yeah, man, I absolutely love Gremlins. I would actually be very interested to find out if you guys or anybody in the chat doesn't like Gremlins. It's not a movie that you hear many people shit on at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty universally loved. And it's one that I just remember seeing as a kid and watching over and over and over again. I can't remember if I saw this in theaters or not. I'm saying probably not in 84. But I remember watching it on VHS quite a bit as a kid, renting it a lot, seeing it on TV. And, it was really the thing with Gremlins is, Joe Dante, Steven Spielberg got together, created this movie about these little gremlins or mogwais, these little monsters. And the trailer kind of put this as a family movie. And when you see Gizmo, I mean, that's definitely got family movie written all over it.
I love
it.
He's so cute.
Me too. I love Gizmo. And there was some issues with this when it came out because parents were bringing their little kids to see Gizmo, and all of a sudden hell starts to break loose and they say, wait a minute, this isn't a kids friendly movie. And it really, in my opinion, it was, but it really wasn't. Like as a little kid, this could be pretty traumatizing for you. And what did you guys think the first time you saw this?
I don't particularly remember the first time that I saw it, but I feel like it's kind of a Christmas movie too. Does anybody else feel like it's?
Yeah.
It falls in that like Die Hard situation where it's like, I can't watch this when it's not Christmas because it gives me Christmas vibes. So I think maybe that fell into the whole family thing about Gremlins, was that it was a Christmas movie and everything. I don't remember the first time I watched it, but I watched it a lot when I was a kid. We had the VHS as well. And it was an instant favorite just because Gizmo was so cute and squishy.
He was squishy too then.
Yeah, squishy is universal.
So
it's for anything that you just want to go like this.
The Squishmaster likes Gizmo.
Yeah,
There's
that's right.
Okay.
And
that's
I also have the Flasher. Justin, I think you have this too, don't you? But you have like the giant version.
Don't
Can
get
I
him
open
started
it?
with that.
Yeah, I had
G-rated.
before we started this video, I realized I was wanting to grab just way too much shit, and it would have looked like a toy store behind me. But yeah, I have that one. I have like 2 of the full size. Gary, you have a couple of the full size too, don't you?
Yeah, I got
They're
Stripe
super
back
cool
behind me over here, my Stripe, and then I have like a Gremlins 2 in the other room.
Yeah, Gremlins is an all-time classic, and in my opinion, it's one of those. There's very few movies, and I said, well, I'm curious to see if you guys agree. I think it's kind of a perfect movie. It really is. It's one of those movies that's like lightning in a bottle from beginning to end. I feel like every frame is just exactly how it should be. Every moment is just iconic. And you brought back the idea of the family friendly and the Steven Spielberg thing. If I remember correctly, I know it was Gremlins and I believe Temple of Doom, which came out in about the same time, and it really created a whole stir with the MPAA and the whole rating system. And if I'm correct, also, I think it was Steven Spielberg who kind of got with the MPAA and kind of talked with them and created together that PG-13 rating, where you got movies after that being PG-13. But Gremlins was instrumental in that kind of bridging the gap between what is a kid's movie and a horror movie essentially, because as much as it's for kids, like you said, it's got some really gnarly effects in it with the practical effects. There's some menacing scenes, some really gory stuff towards the end with the melting and all the.
Oh my god!
It gets really, really. I watched it. I hadn't seen it in years. When I picked up the 4K, I watched it again, and they really went for it, man. I don't feel like Joe Dante doesn't get enough credit for a lot of the stuff he did in the 80s and 90s for really going outside of the box with every genre that he dipped his toes into, you know.
Well, and I feel like too, back in the day, what was considered like a horror movie for like kids and teenagers is a little different now. I feel like we're really more on the fluff side now. Back in the day,
oh, 100%.
My parents didn't blink an eye at me watching this one back in the day. They were like, "Oh, Gremlins, of course. Why wouldn't we watch this?"
Right. And you'd all sit down together and like watch it on the couch, and you were probably like 4 years old, 5 years old, you know. And they even I remember begging my mother to buy me like this little Gizmo plush animal that used to like squeak or whatever, because I kept seeing the commercial, and Gizmo was everywhere. I think he was even on like cereal, and he was just everywhere. I have, oh man, I wish I brought him out. I have these like little they were like record books where you put the record in and it tells you the Gremlin story. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I got my Gizmo in the back corner over here. He's on the Chucky box, if you can see him way back there. But yeah, and he was just everywhere. And you know what's funny is the one scene I remember as a kid that really freaked me out. It wasn't even a lot of the Gremlins. It was that damn scene where the teacher gets the needle in his ass or whatever. Like, dude, as a kid, I remember my brother was like, because like we hated shots so much as a kid, so all of a sudden this guy's got like a syringe like laying down, sticking in his butt. We were like, "What the heck is going on?" You know, and as a little kid, we were like, and he was dead too. So we were like, the last thing we would ever do is get another shot again. You know, this guy was like dead. But that used to creep me out, and it was like glowing and stuff. It was like a weird image, and that really freaked me out as a kid. And man, the effects in this movie are just so top notch. Like even now, like the puppets, the effects of the eggs. It's insane on how good this still looks. Like you don't look at Gremlins and like, oh, this looks cheesy and cheap. Not at all. And there's a lot of.
It was like that peak physical or practical effect era where they really like. I mean, half the budget would almost go into all these effects, and they were shot really well too. Not only did they do a really good job, but everything is shot and lit so perfectly because they actually used to give a budget to movies like this. That's why when you watch something like a cheaper B movie with a lot of practical effects, it'll look more cheesy, but all these Gremlins really feel alive, and it feels really immersive when you watch it.
And as the sequels go on, the Gremlins just get better and better and better too. They get super cheesy where you have like, you know, they're smoking cigarettes.
Well, I think that was the whole stipulation. Was it Rick Baker who did the effects? Because I think there was whoever did the effects. I think it was Rick Baker. He said like, I'm not going to come back and do this unless we can do it, like, and really go for it, you know.
I knew they were going for like a more cheesy factor, but it never felt that way. It still felt authentic Gremlins, and then they just put all this shit on them, like dresses.
Yeah,
and
I love the
one of them
batch.
had boobs and stuff.
Greta, man.
So it's hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious, but it's also amazing.
Yeah, Gremlins 2 was taking it from that horror element, adding a little more comedy to it, but it still worked really well. I prefer the first one over the second one personally, but I like them both. You could tell that what year did 2 come out? Was it 89? Do you know?
It was definitely late 80s, if not like 90.
Because you could tell they were starting with a little bit of CGI, like when they show Gizmo walking around the streets or whatever. Like you can kind of see they were toying with that. But yeah, man, this is definitely a top tier favorite of mine. I think when Kenny Levels did like his 84 rankings, like I'm pretty sure this was maybe like 2 or 3 for that year because that was such a killer year for movies. But Gremlins was definitely one of the top few for me on that one. I don't even remember exactly what I put as number 1, to be honest. But yeah, guys. So around the table, Gremlins is definitely a rad.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
All right. So we'll move on to the next one. And then, like I said, after each one of us throws something out there, we'll go back to the chat because I'm sure people are probably talking about Gremlins in here. Mel, what do you want to bring up?
Okay, so my picks are going to be, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. They're going to be really off the wall. I'm sure, I don't know how, in the chat, let us know if anybody's actually even seen this movie. So it's called Bad Milo. So there is a little monster creature. He's right there. He's also kind of adorable. I'm not gonna lie, and like really freaky, weird. You know how when babies are just born, they look like old men. He a little bit. Anyway, so this is Milo, and so the premise of the movie is this guy. He has like these stomach pains and he goes to the doctor and he finds out that there's like a demon living inside of his intestines, right? So then he then finds out throughout the movie that the demon comes out through his butt. Starts wreaking havoc on all these people, and then he'll like scurry back up into his butt. So at first it's like really horrifying for this guy and he's like trying to get rid of him, but then kind of throughout the movie, he kind of like grows an attachment to Milo, and then he'll like turn around and let him come up in his butt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's funny, but it's like it's super cheesy movie, but it's hilarious and entertaining. You guys all have this copy.
I actually got this as a Dollar Tree pickup. I picked this up for $1.
Oh my God, you got this at the Dollar Tree?
It's the DVD. It's the DVD.
Oh,
it's not the Blu-ray.
I'm pretty sure I found mine thrifting, maybe.
But that's a really fun, and it actually is similar to the one, to one of these ones in the list where you're right. They actually start to, like, they're terrified of one another, but then they start to use each other. It's been a while since I've seen it, but isn't he kind of like a nerd or something? And the guy, Milo starts kind of taking ownership of him and kind of takes a protective angle to him, taking care of some of his enemies and shit.
Yeah, he starts like killing off his enemies, but then he starts killing off his friends too.
Yeah.
It's just the in and out of the butt part.
And that actor is great too. He was one of the guys, and I don't know if you guys remember the old show, The State, which was on MTV back in the day. It was kind of like a Upright Citizens Brigade, new Kids on the Hall, or what was it? Kids in the Hall or whatever.
Yeah.
They had a comedy troupe, and the lead actor, he's kind of an underrated actor, and he's really good in that movie.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing about this movie too, is it's really well done. It's well made. The cinematography is fine. It has some great actors in it. It was well directed. So it's a really good put together movie about this butt demon.
And the cast is actually stacked. Now you got Gillian Jacobs. You got the guy from Fargo. You have the dude from Seinfeld who painted his face for the football games and shit.
Yeah,
the cast is great. Yeah, Putty. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this came. I mean, that's the thing, guys. Like, we're talking about this creature feature. This is probably the most current one I think we're going to talk about today. This came out in 2014.
Yeah,
it's super underrated
or something.
I was shocked when you guys brought this up for tonight because it was one of those movies I don't think a lot of people have seen. So the fact that you had both been like, oh yeah, I like that, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting because I didn't expect you both to be so aware of this movie. And I'm definitely a sucker for these kind of movies. So when I saw the trailer for this, I think it was probably in 2014. It was on my list. Like, I think I bought this day one. Like, I pre-ordered it or whatever it is, because these type of movies just really, I'm a sucker for these like kind of Gremlins type movies. So when I saw this and it was modern, I was like, oh shit, I'm going to give this a try because the trailer looked really good. And like you said, even the little guy, even Milo looks kind of cool. Like, it's, you know, everybody always has little looks. Yeah. So I thought this was cool. For sure. I mean, it had like comedic elements to it as well. And it's definitely one to check out. It's a fun ride if you guys haven't checked this thing.
It's like a buddy comedy, but a creature feature.
Kind of, yeah. But yeah, I highly recommend checking it out too, because that's one of the things that I noticed when doing the research for this specific episode was trying to find these mini creature features or tiny terrors or whatever. Is in my mind, I thought there was a lot more, and there's really not that many. Once you take out aliens and once you take out trolls, there's really not that many. And for, like G said, for this one to be so current and be so good, like, yeah, I can't recommend it enough to watch it. And it's silly and it's funny. You're not going to be terrified when you watch this, but it has some good like gore in it too. So you'll be entertained by it.
It's almost like Ted, like the Mark Wahlberg movie Ted.
Yeah,
if like
kinda.
Ted killed people and lived in his Mark Wahlberg's butt.
Do you think, does Milo live in your Boglin's butt, you think?
Oh my God. Okay, tragic story about my Boglin. He has a butthole.
It did take her a long time to get up from underneath that table at the beginning of the episode. Knew something was going on.
Practice. I needed somebody to come out here and help me.
Now we know what was going on. It was a Milo situation.
Get up there.
She's yelling down the alley. She's like, hey, is anybody down this alley? Help me up. Yeah, I'm doing a show.
I'm like shining my flashlight. Help me. I fell. I can't get up.
That's so funny. Justin, what do you got for us, buddy?
Before I bring out the movie, I guess I'll show you Brain Damage.
Elmer.
We're going to talk about, this is probably one of the ones that I'm most excited to talk about. Once we're diving into the Frank Henenlotter stuff, which is, I think, is one of the most underrated directors ever that made some amazing films. But in my opinion, Frank Henenlotter's masterpiece is, in fact, Brain Damage. Mel, where's your slip?
Not only do I not have a slip, fucking blue case.
Where'd you get that? Like a yard sale or something?
I'm pretty sure I ordered this from it.
This is actually like, it is a beautiful edition. The slipcover's got that metallic stuff on there. I'm not trying to rub it in. It's just a really good edition.
No, this is definitely it's really squishy, dude, for sure.
But this movie's amazing, and this is one of the ones that I was talking about that kind of, it's not like Bad Milo, except for the fact that the parasite in this one, Aylmer, almost forms a bond together. That's what I like about both of those movies. As at first, I don't know if he's an alien. They don't really give a lot about the origin of Aylmer, but he's essentially like a phallic, like dick-shaped parasite that lives off of brains. He has to have brains, but in order to acquire the brains to survive, he needs a human host to kind of navigate the world through. But there's also a trade because he excretes this. Aylmer will stick this little needle out of his mouth and hook in the back of the neck, and basically inject this blue fluid that makes the host trip balls. It's the most insane. This movie's kind of hard to explain because it's so bizarre, but the lead character comes across Aylmer, and it's also kind of an allegory for addiction, because what's the lead character's name? Oh, it's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Brian. Yeah, that's how he sounds too.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian.
The stuff that Aylmer excretes into him to get him high is like extremely addicted, so he almost gets strung out on this substance that Aylmer gives. And it just turns into this insane oddity with all these really trippy, surrealistic sequences. It's just so well done. And there's, of course, good gore because Aylmer's, eating brains and surviving off the brains of people, making Brian trip balls, and everybody around him, like his girlfriend and his brother. They're like, what's going on with Brian? He's acting really strange, and he's strung out on Aylmer's juice. And it's got... There's a lot of infamous scenes, the scene where he kind of comes out of his fly, and we won't go too deep into that.
So we got butts and we got phallic.
We got butts and we got dick parasites. We got all kinds of things going on. But this movie is extremely well made, and there's some really, really cool scenes. But one of the most interesting things, one of the standout, I don't think the movie would be the same or even quite as good if it wasn't for the voice of Aylmer. And the voice of Aylmer was a horror TV host way back in the day by the name of John Zackerly. And what was weird about it is when he got hired, this was like a non-union job. Like Frank Henenlotter was like a B-movie gangster doing all the movies in New York on 42nd Street and things like that. So the guy who voiced Aylmer couldn't be credited. Like if you look at the movie, he's not credited because it wasn't like a SAG production. So it was kind of an obscure thing that he was really famous for, but he couldn't really come out and do it because he would have lost his, SAG card and stuff. but that's a whole nother story. But the movie is just amazing, and the creature design of Aylmer and the animation of him. I mean, it's just an amazing design.
I love how he has like a million tiny teeth in there.
Yeah.
And then like his mouth opens so wide when that little thing comes out.
Uh-huh. It's so good.
Where did you get that?
This is a guy who he's online. You can buy him. He's all over Instagram and Facebook. He sells a lot of Masket stuff. It's DWN Productions.
Oh yeah, I know them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually bought this off a Facebook group, and I couldn't remember where I got it from. And somebody finally said it looks like a down piece, and so I got a hold of down. He's like, "Nice repaint," and I'm like, "I didn't repaint it, man. I just bought it." And he's like, so somebody had bought one of his pieces and did a whole complete repaint job on it. But
so that's pretty much that's a very unique piece, even from what he does then.
Yeah, because the stand wasn't on here either. See, it's got the little bits of brain stuff, but there's a lot of scenes in the movie of him just it's a cool piece, but there's a lot of scenes of him, chomping on brains and stuff, and the ending is absolutely just mind-blowing. It's one of my favorite movies like ever. It's probably a top 10 for me.
It was one of my mom's favorite movies too, because this was another one where she was like, Elmer, and she would always just say Elmer all the time. I just remember bringing that up randomly in conversations, like, why are you always talking about that movie? My mom is weird.
It's really hypnotizing with the soundtrack and the way it's shot in this blue kind of aesthetic. It's really, really good.
Maybe that's why I got a blue case.
That's right. See, it fits the brain damage.
Well, I want to ask, CK, you said that 4K with a slip is coming. Is that true, Mr. Deadpit over there?
Brain damage?
I was gonna say I'm just gonna wait for the 4K.
Oh wow.
I mean, listen, I haven't heard anything personally, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on its way at this point. I mean, this has been out quite a while. This edition. I think this came out. I don't know. Do you know when, Justin? This has been out a long time. I think years. Yeah,
this was a few years ago, 2017. It doesn't say 4K. It doesn't say 4K scan. It just says.
Well, here's what I have to say. If Arrow puts out Brain Damage in 4K before Arrow puts out Burbs in 4K,
I love it.
Come on.
I know. I would love that too. It's one of my favorites. But yeah, these are three like real good ones off the top, in my opinion. And I do love Brain Damage as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit more. But I just want to jump into the chat because I know I'm like probably 15 minutes behind now. But I just want to see what you guys have to say about these movies we talked about. So Punisher Batman fan says Gremlins is awesome, so he likes it. Basement Blues, Tony likes Gremlins as well. So he did definitely see it in the theater in '84. Must have been a real cool experience for sure.
Yeah.
This is a good question, and I don't know what he's talking about. Was that movie with Anthony Michael Hall as a cop, and he had a small creature as a sidekick? Man, I love Anthony Michael Hall, but that doesn't ring a bell to me, and I would love to know what that is. So if anybody in the chat knows what that is, I'm going to obviously Mel might be searching for it now, but I don't know off the top of my head, man, and I'm glad you brought that up. Hall & Oates. Haven't seen Gremlins in a long time. No idea how I feel about it. Oh, you definitely got to check it out.
It holds up.
I would say if you want, save it to Christmas because, like she said, it has that feel. Even though I don't know if it is considered a Christmas movie to most people, but to me it is. Even with the music and stuff in the house when they're celebrating.
Well, the whole Santa Claus, Phoebe Cates Santa Claus story, which was just a terrifying story. It's insane that's in I guess a kid's movie, not really, but.
Yeah. Did you? I don't know if you would know, but there's like there's a lot of custom people that do customs out there, and a lot of people do customs of like, like those. What are those figures called that look like Star Wars, but they do all the different series now? Do you know? It's actually a line that I've completely stayed away from because I'm like, once I go into that, it's gonna be all over the place.
I'm not sure.
They look like Star Wars toys. You can get them at Target, but they're in the little package, like the old retro package. You can get like Michael Myers. You can get. I don't know if somebody in the chat knows, but a company did customs of those, and they did Phoebe Cates' dad from Gremlins.
Oh, in the gym. I guess I don't want to spoil it if somebody hasn't seen it, but the movie's been out for a while.
Yeah, all like all bent and stuff, like in the.
Oh my God, that is amazing!
I might have it on my phone because when I saw that, I took a picture of it because I'm like, that is freaking wild.
Okay,
But-
so that movie is called A Gnome Named Norm.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It came out in 1990.
Huh. Does it have any physical media? Do you know?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna have to look up that one. But a gnome named Norm, and I
Yeah, it's
gotta.
rated PG.
All right.
One thing I'll plug, if anybody is a super Gremlins fan, there's an Instagram account. I think it's you guys might know this too. I think it's TJ the Gremlin guy, and he gets the jump like on all the details every time NECA is getting ready to drop something Gremlins. But he also gets a hold of all these original Gremlins prop that were screen used. So I think it's TJ Gremlins guy, but if you go to his Instagram account, he owns tons of screen used props. But they're kind of creepy because half of them are kind of, you know how the old foam starts to rot and they look really funky. And he also posts a lot of ones that were made for the movies but weren't actually used. So it's a really cool Instagram account for Gremlins heads. It's a really cool. He posts really cool shit.
Yeah, I think I have that guy on mine as well. TJ Gremlin, right? You said yeah.
TJ Gremlin guy.
All right, well, Lepke with a $5 super chat. Thanks, buddy. It says, I recommend this episode of Tales from the Crypt called The Ventriloquist Dummy. I don't know it offhand, but I know Tales from the Crypt pretty well. But I will check it out. I have all the seasons here. He said it's twisted and oh so rad. Hashtag no slip, no dip. Hashtag Justin's Scream 5 review.
My Scream 5 review is coming very, very soon. That's the running joke. I've said that in probably 10, 15 videos.
Hey, listen, I said the same thing about the room tour, so I'm right there with you.
It's so funny. Right after because I reviewed all of them. I reviewed all of them to Scream 4, and then Scream 5 came out, and I'm like, I'm going to get it out this week, and then the next week I said it again, and now it's just a goddamn running joke. That's hilarious. He got that. Somebody got my little joke.
That is funny. Like with the room tour right now, you know what the biggest problem is? Every time I like clean it and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to film. And then like I'm trying to get my brother over here. Someone's like, oh, let's do a show. So I tear it all apart again, like with like puppets.
I think you should just do it in sections. Just do it in sections. Shit.
Oh. Damn, Haim was trying to get out there. He just kept trying to jump in the mix. He was so excited for that super chat. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna keep going through here as well. I totally just lost everything I was doing in the chat here. So we've got Kenny Levels. Oh, mid-level media says he thinks he might just change his name to Kenny Levels at this point.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Dude, we all have multiple names. That's the name of the game. Justin Smith says he doesn't love or hate Gremlins. Wow, I've really never heard anybody really say anything negative about it. Not saying that you hate it, but that's interesting. Dead Pit, I have crazy nostalgia for those little Gremlins storybooks with the records. I don't think it was Hardee's only because I don't think I've ever been to a Hardee's. We don't have those here. So unless they did a collaboration, for some reason I'm thinking it was Burger King or Wendy's, but I could be wrong. But I have them still, and I would love to listen to them because there was a distinct voice and stuff. Maybe I'll try to put one on my Instagram and play it. So we've got, let me see it. Brian Goes Blue. What's up, man? Dead Pit. The Gremlins 4K transfer I thought looked a heck of a lot better than the Blu-ray. It's been a while since I've seen the Blu-ray, so I don't remember how much better it looks. Gizmo is the truth in the booth. So we've got definitely a Christmas movie from Dead Pit. Mike Barrett says Gremlins he has to be in the mood for. Mid-level media, I got a little Gizmo from a hospital gift shop when I was... Oh, sweet. Was it the one that I was talking about where I think it like you could squish it and it would like make like a squeak sound or something?
You could do what to it?
Well, Tony says
squish Gizmo.
Squish Gizmo.
Lepke's right, but again, screw spoilers, guys. These movies are old. Gremlins also let children know that Santa isn't real. And I never noticed it until I was way older. See, so I guess it kind of like if it was a kids movie, like that's like that's I guess a pretty critical part if you've got a kids movie. That's a ballsy little scene there. That scene was so unnecessary, kind of the movie too, and that's what's so funny about it. Like if that scene didn't exist, it wouldn't have changed the movie whatsoever, right?
Mm-hmm.
100 says with Mogwai comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who we got coming in? Cost New Julian. Anybody can help me with this? But he looks new to the chat, so welcome if it's the first time checking this out. Remembering watching the NBC's network broadcast of Gremlins on a Sunday night, had to flip back and forth between ABC's The Wonderful World. Oh my God, ABC's The Wonderful World of Disney was like my Sunday night jam forever. Do you guys remember that?
I don't remember that.
They used to do like different movies, like Disney like would do different movies, like not cartoons a lot of the time. It was mostly just like movies, like maybe. I don't know what it would have been on there. Maybe like The Black Hole or something. I don't know, but maybe I just remember Tinkerbell flying to the castle every Sunday night. That's all. Yeah, I didn't know this. Hoyt Axton's narration added so much. I love the Gremlins. So he must have did the records. I had no idea. Oh yeah, that's right. So I did post that on Instagram. I took my Gizmo and I took a Mountain Dew's no sugar and did like a little picture. But that Mountain Dew commercial with the Gizmo a couple of years ago was fantastic. And
it was.
If they were to do a movie now, like they should just rip that, like have Galligan in it, have Billy back, have Gizmo, have him older, have him with kids. He still has Gizmo. Like this would all work. My biggest concern is going to be the CGI aspect of it, but and if they really wanted to, they could make it work.
I think Joe Dante said if he did it, it would be practical. Like that would be one of his conditions. I think that's probably why it's been hard to do, because it's going to be an expensive movie.
Yeah.
Well,
to do it right.
Talking about doing it practical,
They got the cartoon. I'm not really interested in the cartoon, to be honest with you.
Is a cartoon?
Yeah, it's gonna be on HBO Max. I think it's coming out like soon. There's a trailer that dropped for it.
Oh, I totally went over my head. I missed that completely.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember a couple of years ago? I say that it's probably like 5 or 6. There was like a little short that dropped. Someone did like a fan movie or something, Gremlins, and it was really good. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
Did they make puppets for it and everything?
Yes.
Oh,
and it was
wow.
almost like, I'll try to find it. If you guys remember it, write it in the chat. It was almost like, I can't remember exactly where they were, but I remember them putting the Gremlins like in a truck or something like that. But it was a really cool little watch. So we'll go through a couple more of these. We're still talking Gremlins. People are going nuts in here. When I would watch Gremlins as a kid, my uncle told me if I didn't sit on the couch, the Gremlins would come and grab me and pull me under. That's
what a dick.
Mid-level Media says he enjoys Gremlins 2 more. And then we're bonding Bad Milo. Piz, what's up, buddy? He loves Bad Milo as well. That's awesome, man. Because again, like I said, I don't hear a lot of people talk about that one. Hollow Note says he has not heard of Bad Milo. Someone at work just asked me about this today. What, Bad Milo?
Well, definitely check it out if you can find it.
I wonder if it's hard to get now.
Well, I looked it up. It's not free streaming on anything, but you can rent it.
Lepke said Bad Milo is the cutest thing ever to come out of a grown man's butt.
So true. His beady little black eyes, and he's all like sharp teeth, but he's adorable.
Oh, Brian got a Blu-ray of Bad Milo at Dollar Tree.
No kidding. That's awesome. It's weird though, because it's such a interesting movie.
Lepke asked if we've seen Benny Loves You. I have not.
Sorry, that's another thing.
I've heard good things about that. Is that good?
Loves You. Yeah, it's so good. It's kind of the same thing. It's like a little puppet that runs around and kills people because his owner or whatever is like his buddy and he's trying to like protect him, but then he goes awry. And
I've heard great things about that movie.
Yeah,
now, is it new? Is it new or no?
It is new.
Oh.
Or when did it drop? If somebody knows, was it last year? Maybe.
Yeah, it was in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's good.
You can't see I'm sporting my brain damage shirt.
Woo!
Oh.
I forgot I was wearing that one.
All right, so Slasher Home Video is in the house and says, "Sup, you're talking about one of my favorite subgenres." Awesome, man. I'm glad you're here then, because we were really excited to kind of talk about this.
Yeah.
We'll get to some of the chat. I'm going to scroll through really quick because we're way behind now. But I just want to show quick. Gus gave a little $9.99 super chat. Said,
Rad Pack for life. That's right, baby. Join the pack.
Haim says the same thing. All right, I'm gonna scroll, guys. So if I miss you, I apologize. If there's a super chat that comes up, I will make sure to get to that. But I just want to see what people have to say about brain damage before we move on, because you guys are really lighting up the chat, and I appreciate it. I don't know. Dead Pit says Fall K with Slip. It's coming. I don't know if that's legit or not. Hollow Note says, yes, the phallic juice.
I'm immature. That's why I laugh at that stuff.
Dead Pit wants you to like this stream, so
Is that what that says?
up. Yeah,
I love it.
And then Mike says, somebody said a roundhouse kick it, but he can't roundhouse kick. So just smash the like button or kill the like button.
Kill
please.
the like button.
Let people know we are live right now, because the more likes that we get on this, the more people are going to pop in here and check it out. So, Super 8, interesting. Are you talking about the movie? We didn't add that in there, but there's nothing little in there, right? There's no little creatures, is there?
I can't remember. I thought that I can't remember that one. I remember watching that one.
Oh, I thought that was a great movie. I loved Super 8. But
is it an alien?
It is an alien, but it's a bigger alien too. So yeah. Oh, see, so Piz got the records from Hardee's as well. That's interesting because like I said, they must have did a dual collab. If you guys want to research that and check it out, but I never been to a Hardee's before.
Do you have it's like a sister restaurant or something for Hardee's? What's it called?
Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr.
No, I've never had one of those. We don't have those here as well. Lepke has a good one here. I'm sure Howie Mandel would come back to voice Gizmo. He even did the commercial. Yeah, Howie Mandel is one of those people that I would love to meet. Because I have a Gremlins cast signed poster by a lot of the cast. Obviously, it's missing Phoebe Cates. I would love to meet her, but I always wanted to save that little box on the poster for Howie Mandel to sign. But I've never seen him at a convention here. I know he's done some West Coast stuff, but never around me.
Well, he was in Little Monsters too, right? He must just be a monster guy. Huh?
Hell yeah, man! Little Monsters is awesome. That's definitely a Rad Pack episode for sure.
Hell yeah.
Lepke Vision, did you like the movie Magic starring Anthony Hopkins? Oh, Magic, yeah. Again, to me, that would be considered like a doll or a toy. So I love Magic. Magic is.
I've never heard of that one.
Dude, you got to watch it. It's about a guy. He's like a ventriloquist, and he has like this puppet. What's the puppet's name? It's a specific name. It's a real good movie. It's one of those movies that's like it's more than just a horror movie. Like it's like a real good movie. I think it has a Blu-ray, but I think I only own the DVD of it. Magic, check it out.
Anthony Hopkins. Cover of that movie is horrifying. Is it a scary movie?
It's like it is. It's like a horror movie, but it's more than that. I think it's like a thriller.
Oh yeah, it's a horror drama from 1978.
Really good movie. Does it have a blue?
It does.
Jonathan, what's up, man?
Blu-ray.
So yeah, I would recommend Magic for sure. It's probably a studio release, but it's a fantastic movie. But not a lot of people I didn't see were talking too much about Brain Damage. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it, but I recommend it for sure. And Justin, I'm sure you are too. But like Frank Henenlotter, like he's great. He doesn't have a lot of stuff, but what he has is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at things like Frankenhooker, which is another crazy great movie. If you guys haven't seen that one, Mel, have you seen that?
Yeah, I own that one.
Brain Damage was one I actually hadn't even heard of until probably like 5 years ago. I didn't even know it existed. Then I saw it and I'm like, how have I gone my whole life not knowing about Brain Damage? But
don't you love that feeling though when you find something like that after all the movies you've seen and all of a sudden you find something and you're like, why have I never heard this? And I'm so happy I found it. Like that's such a great feeling. And I love when that happens. And it's very rare now that I'll watch something and be like, where have you been? Like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. But it's such a great feeling, especially now. But Frank Henenlotter, like, great stuff. So I'm going to swing into that realm because I'm going to talk about, and this was one that we were on the fence about, where to put this. Does this count? Does it not? Because technically he's kind of human, I guess. And we're going to talk about Basket Case.
Blyle.
Which I freaking love. So yeah, that's the arrow slippy arrow. This is a steel book from Second Sight with all three in it on Blu-ray. And I think
I have that release, but it's not this steel book. It's like the regular. It's that one right there that Justin has. That's the one that I have.
Is that got all three too, Justin?
It's got all three, yeah. And the sequels are like practical effects masterpieces. I'll let you elaborate on Basket Case, but Brilliant movie.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. But I'm gonna have to chuck this up really quick because we got another super chat from Mr. Dustin Shaw. For those who pull up Rad, I salute you. Thank you, dude. I salute you as well. And so does Corey Haim. So yeah, I absolutely love Basket Case. I've loved it since the day I saw it. And like you said, talking about Brain Damage, it's very in a similar vein where, you know, this was in the grungy New York. Like this movie just feels dirty, right? Like I something
This
about
movie
Basket
is
Case.
dirty.
Well, I guess it is.
Come
It is.
on.
It's dirty. But whatever the reason, like, I don't know what it was that I fell in love with this. I think I just love the story. Like, I just love the idea of, and again, what made this a little bit on the fence is that technically this is supposed to be this guy's brother.
Mm-hmm.
And they were born, you know, together, and
Conjoined
he had to get cut,
or whatever.
conjoined. That's good. Thank you. And they had to cut him off. And basically from there, you know, he keeps him in a basket, and then he gets very jealous of him. And his brother's Dwayne and Belial. And it's just such a great movie. The effects it's so cheesy, but it's so cool. And the effects get better as the sequels go on. But I think the first one to me is just such a good, cool, like 80s horror movie. And it really did, I think, spawn Brain Damage in a way because Frank, I seriously, like when I saw Brain Damage years later, I marked out when all of a sudden he gets on that train or that subway and friggin' Dwayne shows up with Belial in the basket. Like, dude, like that's like
he's in Brain Damage. I was gonna say that. It blew my mind.
Yeah, I was like sitting there I remember watching that and being like, that was nuts. Like I marked out.
Yeah,
that's like multiverse shit or whatever right there. Like, you know, combining his head in a lot of universes. Like it was just so cool. And I'm sure most of you guys have seen Basket Case, but if you haven't, you have to check it out. There's 3 of them. Definitely check out the first one. There's multiple ways to get it. Arrow has it. I'm assuming they'll probably do a 4K pretty soon. That one's been out for a little while as well. I don't think you can get it with the slip anymore. So that could be something that's on its way.
One thing that's insane, I think, after seeing Basket Case and then watching the sequels, Basket Case 2 and 3 have some of, like, first of all, like the largest amount and some of the most amazing practical effects I've ever seen in any movies. If any guys have seen Freaked, I'm sure you guys have seen Freaked with Alex Winter. The sequels are like on that level with practical effects. It's absolutely insane. And one thing I will say while we're talking about Frank Henenlotter, I won't talk long about it. The last film he directed, most people don't even know exists, and it's called Bad Biology. Yep. And this is another movie where it just shows you how perverted and insane Frank Henenlotter is. If anybody, I'm not going to talk about this movie, but if you have not seen Bad Biology, you've never seen anything like it. And I just wish the guy still made movies. Like, to having a debut feature like Basket Case and then going on to make amazing films like, you know, Frankenhooker and Brain Damage. The guy's filmography is absolutely iconic. And I feel like people don't I feel like he should be in the same vein as, and I mean this, like a Wes Craven, John Carpenter, Joe Dante. Like, he's right in there. And for whatever reason, he just doesn't get brought up in the conversation. His movies kind of do, I guess, when you're talking about Frankenhooker, but as a director, I think he's just so underrated.
It sounds like he is underrated, and it's also, I feel like part of the reason is because this whole subgenre is kind of underrated. Like the monsters don't get as much love as the slashers do, so that's probably part of the reason why he's not on the level of like a Wes Craven or a Carpenter or something like that.
Yeah, because they are so silly. That's the whole thing about the main thing about this genre as a whole is that it's all for fun. You know, there's not when you break down all of these movies, they're not like mean spirited or like super gnarly. They're fun, silly, goofy movies. They're not packed with blood and guts and gore. They're just packed with fun. Some more than others get a little bit more ridiculous. Some of the ones later on this list, but man, I'm glad we got to talk about these 2 movies and Frank Henenlotter, because I sing the man's praises whenever I can. I think he made some amazing shit, and it all started with Basket Case feature debut. I think 1979. I think.
Yeah, and if you guys in the chat have not seen these two, I would say they're a great double feature. Even if you just do part one in Basket Case and then followed right by Brain Damage, like I said, it just goes very well together. And I think you guys are right. I met Frank Henlotter a couple of years ago. There was a Frankenhooker reunion that I went to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was there, and Patty Mullen, and oh my God, what's his name? I had him sign my Beaujolais bottle over there.
Dude, how amazing was that?
Oh, it was cool, man. It was super cool. I love that movie. I'm very disappointed that I had the VHS back in the day that would talk, and I sold it in 2008. And it's like one of those things I regret the most, because to try to find that working now in pretty good condition, you're paying boatloads of money.
It's you push the button, it says "want a date" or something on the front. That's like one of those sought after VHS tapes.
Yeah, it's I would love to get that back in my hands. I don't know what made me get rid of that thing, but yeah. So like I said, he hasn't done a lot, but I think, like you said, is that he doesn't get taken as serious because his movies aren't considered as serious. Like, they're just very off the wall and bonkers that, maybe they just didn't put him in a realm of like a Wes Craven or something like that, because they were just so out there.
And he said he wanted to make more movies. He didn't necessarily want to retire. I haven't heard him talk a lot about on it, because he does. I wish he'd do like podcasts or something more, but I know he wanted to do more movies. And I remember when Malignant came out, there was a lot of comparisons to Basket Case when Malignant came out. It almost has to be inspired by Basket Case. I think James Wan had even mentioned it in interviews that this was an inspiration, because they share a lot of the same, kind of vibes to it,
Yep.
Even the look of the monster, or
the separated, twin.
Is kind of the same, yeah.
Spoiler
I thought
alert.
that too when I watched it.
Well, that's cool that you guys are fans of this, because
I just spoiled the whole movie.
Well, you know what though? I'm glad you guys are fans, because when I saw Malignant and I was trying to figure things out as we were going, I remember saying, like, "Oh, they're going to do a Basket Case here. I know they are." And and that's kind of what happened. And I don't think a lot of people knew what that was, because you're right. People were saying, "Oh, it's a Basket Case ripoff," and I think there's a lot of people that were like, "What the hell is Basket Case?" Because I don't think it's as well known as any of his movies, to be honest, as they should be.
I feel like it's not either.
And you know what?
Everybody knows Frankenhooker.
Yeah, everybody knows that. I think it's again because it was on Joe Bob. It gained like another life, I think, after that as well. But I've always wanted a Belial like replica. Like, for years,
you can find them on eBay. There's some really good ones on eBay. They're always pricey.
Horrifying looking thing ever. Like, why?
But how sick would that be to have a basket with him in it displayed? It would be so fucking cool.
Horrifying.
I went through a period of time when I was living in my old house. I had like just done my movie room for the first time, and I was like on a search for a basket that replicated the one in the movie. And even if I couldn't find Belial to put in, just to have the basket, similar basket, like against the wall or something, like, it was what I always wanted. But I could never find something that was that unique. Like, it was like either way too big or way too small, or it didn't open the same way or whatever. And I always wanted to get a Belial. And, I found a couple on eBay. They were pretty expensive, but I just feel like they looked kind of like garbage. They either were too small or they just didn't look right. But man, Trick or Treat Studios could put out that in like 2 seconds. Like, it's probably not that hard to make, because he would just basically be the material of like a Boglin, basically. Right? Like,
yeah, they could just do a big pile of silicone, big poop pile of silicone, and put some beady eyeballs on it and some like.
I would say they would make more money if they sold it inside a real basket than that thing itself. And man, I would love to get a Belial, and I'm surprised there's not more out there that are accessible in 2022. Because
we need to start bugging the hell out of Trick or Treat if they do Ghoulies, you can do Basket Case, right?
Of course, I think it would be a great one.
I don't know that would really be a big seller, though. You really think that'd be a big seller? Considering how many people,
two of them would be sold.
I'd be sold.
Me and Garrett.
I would not be buying that thing.
Me and Garrett would pre-order that fucker for $299.
No. Take
That'd be the
bag
best.
and light it on fire. I have nightmares the rest of my life about it.
Mel's doing like a room tour. She goes up to her bedroom. There's like a Belial like sitting there like in the corner or whatever.
He is freaky looking.
Every time I go in there.
That's so funny. So Mel, what do you got coming up for us next, kiddo? You got some fire?
I don't know about fire. I know CHH isn't gonna love this one, but
Christian's gonna love this one.
Hobgoblins, and I did buy that squishy slip from Vinegar Syndrome. They just
I gotta pick that up.
I had the movie already. I bought it a long time ago, and it didn't come with one, and I was sad about it. But then I saw this, and I was like, oh, that's my dream come true right there.
That's not sold out yet, is it?
I
No,
don't know.
I don't think
It
it
was
is.
only like $8 too.
I have to buy that.
Yes, look at it. It's squishy.
I haven't seen it, but that slip's fucking amazing, and I watched a little bit of it on YouTube. How is that movie? It can't be that. I saw Christian posted his Letterboxd review, and he gave it like the lowest possible thing he could do was half a star.
Dude,
I
listen,
can't believe he hates this movie as much as he does. That's insane.
Do you want me to tell you do you want me to tell you the story on that, by the way?
Oh, there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So look at this. I forgot this was the 20th anniversary DVD. So I've had this a while. 2009.
So it's just a complete Ghoulies rip off, right?
Man, it's probably been. I haven't watched this since probably 2009. So I
People
don't
call it
remember
like
a lot about
the poor man's Gremlins, I think is what people
okay.
are calling it. But they do look more like Ghoulies though, don't they? Or like, alien cats or something.
Because that's the opening shot of the intro was from Hobgoblins.
Yeah, and this was made in '88, so it was on the pretty much a couple years after Gremlins. So I'm sure it was heavily inspired, by Gremlins,
probably.
obviously.
And this one is not as well done. I'm gonna put it out there just in the forefront. So the puppets are great. They're like cute but gross at the same time. But it's hilarious because they didn't put the extra money into actually trying to figure out how to make these things move. So
their mouths don't move, right?
So nothing on them moves. They kind of shake like this. And then when they attack people, it is like so painfully obvious the people are holding them going like this.
Oh, that's amazing. I saw that one scene in the trailer where they all pop up from behind the couch. You could tell somebody's just like holding them up and just move like we did with our fucking Boglins.
Yeah. So there's at least a 10-minute scene of these hobgoblins attacking these teenagers in this house, and they're like running by the windows and stuff. And you could just tell that they're holding them, making them. It's the worst, but that's what's part of the charm about it. And then the hobgoblins themselves, they're supposed to be these menacing creatures that they need to recapture because they're gonna create the end of the world or something. But really all they do is make you hallucinate your wildest dream and then make you go be a dick to other people.
That sounds awesome.
You sold them. You sold Justin.
I didn't know there was an Aylmer aspect to it.
Yeah,
where they make you trip balls.
It's not tripping, but they'll make you all of a sudden you're in a different place, and then your wildest fantasy is about to come true. So one of
and then they kill you.
Well, they don't even kill you. They just be a dick to you.
It's play pranks on you,
do bad things. Yeah. So
that's hilarious.
One guy's fantasy was to have a really hot girlfriend. So he walks outside, and then all of a sudden this chick walks up, and she's like, "Hey, let's go for a drive," and is trying to pretend to seduce him or whatever. And then they go drive off, and then she after a while tries to drive his car into a lake or something. I don't remember the part exactly, but it never even ends up happening. So it's not, I don't know. The hobgoblins are not bad, but they're just little menacing creatures. There is one part where a guy jumps on a grenade or something. It's also incredibly funny.
I'm ordering that movie immediately.
See, this is why I don't understand why CHH didn't like it that much. I thought for sure as soon as he did his commentary and rewatched it, that
and he still hated it.
His mind, and he still hates it.
Well, so here's the thing. He was kind of duped, and I think that it just really put a sour taste in his mouth. So if you ever go to a convention, I don't know if you guys head out to horror conventions at all, they usually have different booths, and Vinegar Syndrome always has a table, and obviously they're trying to sell their stuff, right? So they've got real good people that work there that'll really hype these movies up like they're classics, right? And because they know a lot of these people don't know what a lot of these things are, because they tried to do it with me at one point. They were talking me up on Pledge Night or whatever, and then I had someone that I knew behind the table, and he looked at me, he's like,
Kings of blind. They're the kings of blind buys for collectors.
Yeah,
100%.
and they're like, oh, if you like Sleepaway Camp and Sorority House Massacre, you think you're gonna love Pledge Night. It's the same. And actually, to be honest, I don't mind Pledge Night because I have it now and I don't mind it. But my friend was telling me how bad it is, and that's just what they do. They try to get you to buy something. So Christian came up and didn't know any of these movies. He's like, oh, what do you recommend? And he's like, oh, what do you like? And He's like, oh, what's this? Hobgoblins. He's like, do you like Gremlins? He's like, I freaking love Gremlins. He's like, dude, this is just as good as Gremlins. And he's like, really? And he's like, yeah, not a lot of people know about it. He's like, but we restored it. He's like, if you like Gremlins, you're gonna love this movie. So he went home like happy as a clam, thinking he just found like this gem gold mine from this company on Blu-ray. And I guess when he popped it in and realized it wasn't as good as Gremlins, he was really pissed because their stuff isn't cheap. You know what I mean? So he probably spent like almost $30 on that thing when it first came out at this convention, thinking he was walking out with like gold. And when he got home and it was just like, you know, very poorly done. I mean, the thing is though, I'm almost intrigued to buy it just because they do such a good job on their transfers that it might give me a different feel than watching this very, very like VHS quality DVD that I have. So that alone, to get it in like really clear form, I'm interested in, but it really rubbed him the wrong way. And he told the story on his show once.
I did hear him tell that story.
Yeah. So he was really kind of pissed about it. But then what happened was people would bust his balls about all the time, like on chats and stuff. They'd be like trying to talk to him about Hobgoblins. He's like, I don't want to do any more Hobgoblin talk. And people would just keep irking him like about Hobgoblins. So finally, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, somebody kept bringing it up again. He's like, guys, I haven't talked about that in like 2 years, like enough. And then someone's like, you should do a review on Hobgoblins. Like, I'm not doing a review on Hobgoblins. And he goes, if you guys, he said something like, if I make if $500 in super chats tonight, I'll do a review. Dude, some dude gave him 500 straight up.
That's insane.
And he did, so he had to do the review.
Do a commentary about
that's what it was. Yeah, that's whatever. But it was like one of those things where it's like, dude, somebody just dropped 500, but like, yeah, do it, and just kind of to shut him up. And that's kind of the story behind that. So it's like that's why he ended up doing that commentary. But yeah, I'm surprised he didn't. I thought, to be honest, he was going to have a little bit of a better time with it this time around. But
like a redemption watch.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought he'd watch it again and he'd be like, all right, it's not that bad. Because it's really, should somebody say that this is as good as Gremlins? No, it's not as good as Gremlins. But the entertainment value of this movie, and Garrett, for you specifically, there are scenes in this movie that are so colorful. So to see it with a better transfer is definitely worth it, I think, personally. But
and it seems like a movie that knows what it is. Like, it's not taking itself seriously, right? Like, it knows what it is.
Self-aware. It really is self-aware.
All right, so Justin, what you got for us, buddy? Are we going to go heavy hitter right now or what?
This is a heavy hitter. We got a heavy hitter, guys. And this is actually one that I did I did an episode of My First Horror Movie with Sledgehammer Horror. Yeah. And we talked about this one because I tried thinking about the whole concept of that show is talking about really the first horror movie that you remember seeing. And this was the first movie that I ever remember seeing in that horror genre that really freaked me out. And the little demons in the movie The Gate, I will never forget the first time that I saw The Gate. I did a really in-depth, like, making of super deep dive of The Gate. I love this movie. And again, this falls, just like a lot of these movies do, into that category of a kind of these gateway horror movies. This is, like, to me, one of the ultimate gateway horror movies, like, no pun intended. But the artwork obviously is amazing on this too. I love what they did with the artwork here. But unlocking a portal to hell and having these demons come up and terrorize you, it was just absolutely terrifying. And there's so many scenes, the practical effects, the heavy use of stop motion animation, and so much of it was done in camera too, with all these really clever camera tricks. You have Stephen Dorff in his very first role that he ever did, very first movie role. He may have done TV, but he's great in it. And it's just so good. Garrett, I'm sure you identified with the metalhead, the rock and roller best friend and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
dude.
Garrett in that movie.
Love this movie.
That is little Garrett, dude. Yeah, man.
Like,
I could see it. I could see it.
I should have worn my jean vest in here
tonight.
Dude, the kid is cool as fuck. The kid is cool as hell, and they have like a jean jacket with all kinds of patches on it and shit. It's so cool, dude.
Now, I absolutely love The Gate. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. I'm so happy it's on this list. Did you get the album, The Sacrifice record that TerraVision put out? I got it. It's cool. It's basically a replica of the record from the movie. Like, it's the same, but it's the soundtrack to the Gate, but the Gate, the record itself is based, it's the same cover. So it would be a really cool display piece. I wish I brought it out.
Yeah, because that's puts on the record, and it actually has like the incantation that brings them back up from the backyard. That's so cool. I didn't know they put that out. I bet it's long out of print now, huh?
It could be around. Check it out. Just type in the Gate soundtrack. TerraVision, I think, put out that version where the cover of it's the Sacrifice cover. But it's a real cool edition. And if Holly Go Frightly is in this chat, I want to give her a little shout out. Actually, you know what? She's at Monster Mania. She might not be in here, but last time she went to a convention, she got my Gate poster signed by Steven Dorff. So big shout
that's
out
awesome.
to her. Yeah, so it's really cool. And I remember seeing this, I think, for the first time on TV as a kid. And, there's a lot of scenes that you remember so much, like the creatures and stuff. The one scene that really freaked me out as a kid was the eyeball in the hand scene. Yeah. As a kid, when you see that, you're like, oh, like what? And I can remember watching this movie with my brother and his friend. And my brother's friend, I hope my brother watches this, he'll remember, looked at us. He's like, oh, the Gate, my dad's favorite movie. He has like a bunch of Gate t-shirts. And at the time, we're kind of like, what? Your dad has like Gate t-shirts? Like, you just never saw a dad with like horror shirts like way back in the day like that. Like, my dad didn't wear horror shirts. He wore like baseball like t-shirts and stuff like that. Red Sox shirts and
Cavity
stuff.
Colors. I think it was Cavity Colors did a few really, it may have been Gutter Garbs or Terra. I can't remember. They put out a bunch of really cool Gate designs, and I remember there was a company for a while putting out the little minions too, like little minion figure. I did never catch one, but this is such a cool movie, and there is some really scary moments, like the "You've Been Bad" scene that we had in the intro too, where his dad's face just crumbles into that mush, and it really is like a fever dream towards the end of that movie when shit starts hitting the fan. And the giant minion that comes alive at the end, and him stabbing his, hand.
That's the part, the stabbing of the eyeball.
Oh, it's so crazy. The first time I saw it, there used to be something, I think it was on PBS. It was a local channel. You guys may have had something similar. It was called Day Scream Theater. And on Saturdays, they would play horror movies during the day. So when I was just hanging out, like in the middle of the day, I'd go play and I'd come home at, it was like at 2:00 in the afternoon, 1:00 in the afternoon, and they would play Day Scream Theaters. And I saw movies like, The Gate, and the one with the Cloakroom movie, Lady in White, those kind of movies, like those really awesome gateway movies. But at the time, it really scared the shit out of me, to be honest with you.
Those little demons are awesome too. Like, I love the design of them, and the part at the end where like the Steven Dorff is looking at the hole and he's just waiting for something to come out, and then like this little demon pops up, and then like 100 little demon pops up, and then they just start chanting together.
Well, what's so cool about that is I did do a full deep dive, and a lot of what I deep dived into was the use of forced perspective, kind of like what they did in The Hobbit. So like that scene where he's in a cave and the thing is like right near his shoe, like they made a giant shoe that was like 5 feet tall. And the scene where I think it was the farmer zombie guy that comes out of the wall, falls on the ground and turns into all those little minions.
Yeah.
They did this. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you go into the making of it on this Blu-ray, they show how they did that, how they set the actors up on this big platform and shot a bunch of little guys in minion costumes, like 20 feet down, but they put the camera up high. So they actually really filmed a lot of the stuff in camera, and it's just it's such a creative movie.
Well, and it's funny too, because watching it when you're a kid, it hits differently, but watching it now, because I just watched this the other day in preparation for this stream, you can see where they do that alternate perspective, because even when the giant minion comes up, you can tell, that's what they did there. So, but it's super cool that they took the time to even do that.
Yeah,
it looks really awesome
to make the most of their budget, because if they wouldn't have got creative like that, they wouldn't have been able to do a lot of those really cool scenes that are like the most memorable scenes in the movie. So it was all that effects guy. I forget if there's actually a bunch of really great features on this, with like a couple documentaries and the scores on here and the audio commentaries. There, if you get this edition, it's like everything you'd ever want to know. You can watch my video too. You can learn a lot in that video too. But man, what a great movie! What a classic! Good shout out to Vestron, man.
Yeah,
Dude, there's
no,
so
for sure.
many movies that Vestron needs to come out with right now because they're just in their pocket.
They just announced what was the new one they just announced? They just announced their next movie.
Oh, they did? What is it?
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna die.
I
Well,
can't
clearly
remember.
not Gleaming the Cube then, huh?
No.
That's
no,
a Vestron title. Did
It's,
you know?
God, I wish there's so many they could do.
I think
Dude,
it's
for real.
I think it might be something that's already been out though, right? I think it is.
I wish I could know. Yeah.
Shoot.
But they did a good job, man, with this release, and it's just such a good movie.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
You looking up
Yeah.
that release? I know. I have to know too. It's bugging the shit out of me.
I need to know.
It's a cool movie, but I can't. I don't remember it being like a super iconic. There for a while, it was just all bangers, like Little Monsters, Return of the Living Dead 3, The Gate, Maximum Overdrive. I do kind of wish they'd stick kind of straight in the horror genre. They kind of branch out every once in a while, but movies like Gleam the Cube, we need that.
We need that because that doesn't have a Blu-ray at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No. Yeah, we
I
definitely
can't
do.
find it. Where'd you see that? Was it Blu-ray.com?
I think it was on Dawn of the Discs.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what it was now.
It's bugging the shit out of all three of
Well,
us.
someone in
Have to
Someone in
know.
the chat. Someone in the chat's gonna say it. I'm just so far back. Let me just see. Someone in the chat's probably saying it right now. Repossessed is that? No, that's not. Oh, Earth Girls Are Easy. That's what it is.
Earth Girls Are
Oh,
Easy. That's
is
right.
that what- okay.
Yeah.
That's a good title.
Yeah, that's fine.
It wasn't.
It's not
It
Gleam
wasn't.
the Cube.
It's not Gleam the Cube. Yeah. But
Someday.
gang, we'll jump back to the chat because again I'm way behind again, and then we'll go into our last go around with the last three that we're going to chat about. But we've got let me see. Oh, the bots, but someone get rid of them. Thank you for doing that. Somebody says the show is incomplete without Uncle Rad. Yeah, man, sorry, he's on vacation. We're still working on him though too. Freaked is awesome and underrated. Yes, it is. Bad Biology is crazy. Yes, I have it on DVD, but not the Blu-ray. I didn't even know it was on Blu-ray, to be honest. Ventriloquist Dummy pretty much took inspiration from Basket Case. We interviewed Henenlotter years ago. Great guy. Yeah, I don't know where you can find that interview. I don't know if it's just on their Patreon or they have it on YouTube. Slashers make a good point. Yeah, he's too abstract for mainstream recognition. Talking about Henenlotter.
Yeah.
He
did it
says,
different.
Don't accidentally take the wrong basket to a picnic.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I thought about
He's
this one
got a
too.
move.
I thought about It's Alive, but because it was a baby, I was like, nah, we probably shouldn't do this.
Yeah,
one.
I thought about that too because I thought we kind of decided we were going to do Basket Case because it was like humanoid or whatever. So I came across It's Alive, and that was kind of a baby too. But I guess
Yeah, we might
Basket
have-
Case is more of a blob.
Yeah, we might have broke the rule a little bit on that. I don't know. It was tricky because there was some, there wasn't a lot, but then there was other ones that were like, oh, is it count? Is it this? Is it that?
Yeah, that's the thing is there needs to be more love given to the little monster movies these days. But yeah, we broke the rule too because like hobgoblins are technically aliens.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Butt puppets with no articulation.
Dwayne Whitaker guy worked in Pawn Shop and Pulp Fiction is in Hobgoblins. Really?
Oh, no shit.
Jay the Stingray, what's up, man? Welcome. They are like, if you like Citizen Kane, you will love Hobgoblins.
Well, you know what I was thinking? Those guys genuine. They wouldn't restore movies like that if they didn't love them. So I'm sure they weren't really trying to dupe him. They just genuinely loved the movie. Maybe they Maybe they misrepresented it a little bit.
They oversold it, is what they.
Yeah.
But that's what they do good, though. That's like their whole shtick. You know what I mean? Like, why do you think they pretty up these slipcovers and stuff to like sell these movies to people that aren't great movies, but people want them because they just look so nice, like just to have in the collection.
That happened to me a couple times. What's the one where like they have the one where the abortion goes into the sewer drain and attacks people? The little mutated fetus.
What, Vinegar Syndrome did it?
Yeah, it was just a couple years ago.
I don't know.
Yeah, it just broke Mel's brain. It's
Yikes!
I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm like
crazy.
myself.
Justin's into.
I should.
Yeah,
I should
it's
know.
a weird movie. Had a really cool slipcover. So I was like, holy shit, what is that? And the premise was, it was kind of like that though. The premise was amazing. Yeah, it's a little gross to get into, but
is the last convention I was at, I heard them trying to sell something to some guy. And the funny thing is they always ask you like what you're into, you know, what kind of movies you're into. And it was funny because the guy's standing there and I'm with my buddy and they're like, oh, what kind of movies do you like, man? He's like, babysitter killer movies. And I'm thinking, what a weird like answer.
Babysitter killer. Did he say it all creepy? Did he say it all creepy like that too?
He did. I was like, look at
Babysitter killer movies.
So he clearly just watched The Babysitter on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was just funny. And actually, the way you said it, Justin, was like spot on, and it almost looked like you were there. That's how you said it. And I was like, I looked at my friend, and I'm like, what a weird answer to that question. That's like his favorite genre of movie, like babysitter killer.
A weirdo.
Is there even enough babysitter killer movies for that to be a subgenre?
I don't know. Maybe that'll be the next.
We need to do the next Rad 9.
Babysitter killers.
Killer baby movies, a Rad 9 killer baby movies.
You could easily do that.
There's so many things we could do.
I'd love to talk about The Unborn too.
Unborn too.
That's a wild one.
I don't know if I've watched that one yet.
Oh, it's something.
I know The Unborn.
It has the little freakish looking giant headed baby that's like sweaty with like hair plastered to its face. It's super weird.
Now, what's it called? Does that have a Blu-ray?
It's a Roger Corman movie. No.
I think I have it then. I think I have it on that old genre there, that old label that he had.
It's a wild Mel. If you haven't seen The Unborn 2, it's fucking awesome.
I don't know if I want to watch any of these movies. It's so fucking terrible.
It's good.
Jay the Stingray says The Gate was a big one for him in his childhood. A lot of people loving The Gate over here.
And I still haven't seen the second movie. I have to see The Gate too.
It's not the same, but it's similar enough in my opinion because they have the same kid in it. Not Steven Dorff, but the friend.
Yeah.
Dead Pit says.
My God.
What are you looking at? Are you seeing the baby now?
That is the most horrifying thing I've ever seen.
I brought this up on Sledgehammer's Killer Kids thing, and I said, just Google that baby right now and get ready to lose your mind. And everybody started Googling it and said, what the fuck is this movie?
That is more horrifying than Lyle, okay? Like,
I love that stupid movie. I love that movie.
I'm gonna have to see if I have that one in my collection.
I think I
do.
It's a lot of fun. It's very stupid. I love bad movies.
That's
my favorite movies are bad movies.
I mean, you're right. That's horrifying. No.
Bob's Blu-rays. What's up, man? Welcome. How did I not know Garrett and Mel were live? Well, Justin's here too. Justin, if you don't know him, Movie Watch Daily, the mouth of radness down here.
Hello.
Justin, Mr. Dead Couch.
The mouth of radness.
Mike says great film on The Gate. Slasher's asking about the sacrifice record, sacrifice, the way it's worded on the thing. TerraVision Films, I think, put that out. Side Hustle, what's up, man? The Gate is also one of my favorites. Guys, Side Hustle Cinema, go check him out. He will be on my show Wednesday. We're gonna do a Rad Company episode with Side Hustle Cinema this Wednesday night at 9:30.
Great dude.
You'll check that out. Let me see. TJ Frizzy, what's up? The Carpenter in the Wall. Yes. Doesn't get talked about enough. You know what else too? Like that used to creep me out. The dog used to creep me out. That scene with the dog.
That was sad.
Somebody's saying Justin can bid for one on eBay now. What are you bidding on?
The Belial? Is that what we're talking about?
No, you know what? Maybe he's talking about the little creatures from The Gate.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe the record. I don't know which one.
There's so many.
I want it all.
Let me see if. Oh yeah, that's funny. Mid 80s and those mini rockets. Do they even make? I don't know if they make those anymore, but those were big when I was a kid. Remember those like little rockets you could fly off? We did them, I think, in like science class. I think we all went down to a field and did them. And now people are kind of talking about Earth Girls Are Easy and stuff like that. So what we'll do is we'll go around the horn and we'll go through the last three. Yeah, I think there's one here that is pretty under the radar, I would say. So this one that I'm going to talk about first is it's my turn through. Is going to be there's a bunch of them and it's Critters. So we got that Critters set. It was so funny because when we were kind of going through some of these movies, I'm like looking everywhere, And I'm like, I know Critters has a Blu-ray, and I could not find it. So I brought my DVDs out, and I was like, maybe I'm mistaken. And then not even realizing that Scream Factory is the one who put them out. So what a great cover art, though. That's iconic, that image right there. And
technically, this is cheating too, though, right? Because aren't these aliens?
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say is they kind of are aliens. So it is kind of cheating, but how can you not talk about Critters when we're talking about things like Gremlins? Because it's such in the same vein as that. And man, this was like right on the heels of Gremlins. Like this was like 86. And you know, it's a cool movie. I haven't seen 3 and 4 in ages, so my recollection of the later ones I don't have. So I don't know if you guys do, but 1 and 2 are super fun. 2 is very fun in my opinion. They kind of get a little bit more wonky, like a lot of these movies do in number 2. But you know, the one thing I always think about, I don't know if you guys are gonna get the joke or not. Maybe Justin, I don't know. You know, every time I see this image, I always think of, do you know what this is from? Where did they come up with this stuff? You know what that's from?
Why does that ringing a bell? You're going to have to tell me.
With this stuff? This is a Ninja Turtles where Raph goes to the movies. He goes to see Critters.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
and he's got the
Where did they come up with this stuff?
He went and saw Critters. Yeah. I freaking love Ninja Turtles.
That was a great impression.
Look at his size.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I always think of when I see that this image right here, because that's on the poster when he's walking by it. Yeah.
And one of a couple film debuts, if I'm not, because there's another one we're going to talk about here that has a pretty massive star, genre star film debut. And is it Critters 3? Is it Critters 3 where Leonardo DiCaprio has his first movie role?
Oh, that's right. That is right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Is it really?
That famous picture with him with his little finger inside the Critter's mouth. It's such like a, you know, internet famous. Oh, you got a little mini critter. That's awesome. That's amazing, dude.
I think this is why tiny creatures are my favorite, because I just think they're all adorable.
Yeah. That's so cool. I was actually seeing a couple popped up on Amazon, like ready to go, but they look kind of, when I clicked on the image, there was like, for the same product, there was like 5 different images. So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know what's going to show up at my door if I order a random Critters figure. It'll be like a Pizzal video where he shows all the bootleg bullshit. That looks awesome, though. Where'd you get that at a convention or something?
No, I'm trying to think. This was readily available. It doesn't say anything on it for who did it. I'll try to find it, but it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's nice. It's got the real hair and stuff like that.
And I don't know if anybody saw I don't know if it was a sequel or a remake. I really enjoyed the one they made for Sci-Fi a couple of years ago. It was a lot of fun, man.
I haven't watched it. I have it. Is it like that Critters Attack or whatever?
It's worth watching. It's worth watching.
You could get that at Dollar Tree with a slipcover, like
I've seen
the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Now, Mello, how familiar? Like me, Critters, I saw on VHS, so I didn't see this in the theaters in '88. Again, I don't even know what is it rated? Is it rated R, or I don't even know off the top of my head.
PG-13.
PG-13.
First one is. Yeah. So I watched this one when I was a kid as well. These were my brother's favorite movies. So I kind of grew up with them. But were these the ones? So I think my brother is the one that first showed me this. So if you watch this with the subtitles on, the critters actually say shit. So like you can read what they're saying to each other.
That's awesome.
Via the subtitles. If you don't have the subtitles on, they're just like rah, 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 like to each other. I think this is the movie.
I was today years old when I knew that. So
I don't know how my brother figured that out, but I remember he showed me. He's like, "Look, they're actually saying stuff to each other," and it's like kind of funny. But other times it's just whatever stuff. But yeah, so specifically 1 and 2, I do remember. Which one is the one where they all like come together and create that giant ball?
Number 2, I think.
Is that number
part 2? Yeah, that's a cool one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's so funny about the subtitles. I didn't know that. And you know what else is speaking of that? It's a little off topic, but Mel will appreciate it. I remember my friend and I, Mike, we were huge Lost Boys fans, and we watched Lost Boys with the subtitles on once. And it's funny because we always said, like, if you were deaf and had to watch this movie, it would be so confusing because it keeps messing up when David says Marco and Michael on the subs. So it's like,
you want to know what's funny about that is when I was younger, I thought he said Michael. He says it all weird. He's like, Marco,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, so like when they're down in when they're down in his little cave or whatever, and he's in the wheelchair or whatever, and he's like, "Give me a ride, Marco," and Marco's like pushing him around. Like the subtitles, it's like, "Give me a ride, Michael," and I'm like, "Wait, that makes no sense." Like Michael's over there, like
Because he never comes over. Like, give him yeah.
So it's just funny if you watch it. Like a lot of times when he says Marco, like you said, when he screams it, he's like Michael, and you're like, "Why?" Michael's not coming, he just ignores him. You know, it's funny. But yeah, so you were a big fan of this as well. Like I said, I have to go back and watch 3 and 4. It's been a very long time since I've watched those later sequels. And what's one of them? Space, right?
I might not have even seen.
Is that 4?
3 and 4. Yeah, 4 is the space one, and then 3 is what? Like critters go to New York or what?
By the time they get to Critters Take Manhattan.
That's a great image.
By the time they get 4, they get. I mean, the budget is like.
Oh, Critters.
It's like no
LA.
budget. Oh, that's good. I've never seen Critters 4.
Yeah,
Got the damn box set and I've never watched it.
Yeah, same.
One of the decent releases from Scream Factory that didn't have any replacements, and it actually comes in a box, and it has decent artwork.
I love
this
edition
for a decent price too.
Oh, yeah.
Their box set sales and stuff.
Yeah, I like when they do this because they could have easily gave us these like single releases, but I love that they gave them us all and then just right into this box to kind of house them all.
Yeah, it's in a box, not like they did like Amityville and It's Alive, where it's like the flimsy.
Oh yeah, I have the It's Alive one. Yeah, that's.
I kept seeing It's Alive in stores, but every time I saw it, the thing was just demolished, and I just didn't want to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Critters is great. Don't sleep on the. I don't know if it was a remake or a sequel, but it's worth watching.
All right, yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah,
I think I have that one. I think I did run across that in Dollar Tree, and I ended up buying it.
Yeah, decent little slip on it. It was cheap too. I think it was $10.90. Like when I bought it, it was like $10.
That's cool, man. Now, Mel, what do you got? What's your last thing?
Okay, so my last one is kind of like a no-namer. I don't know how many people are actually going to know about this movie. I just recently picked up the physical release too, but it's Ghastlies. So this could have been part of our Camp Rad Pack episode because it's about these teenagers and they go and they're like camping, and these sorority girls accidentally open up this bunker out in the woods that release these like little monster creatures.
I love that cover.
That is
yeah,
cool,
isn't this great? It's like this purple with this green. I don't know if my lights are messing it up, but the green lettering and stuff. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is like a Muppets Gone serial killer kind of situation. So these little creatures are very, very obviously puppets, just like hobgoblins, where they're like being puppeteered around. But they do go and they start killing people. There's a little bit of gore in it, but there's a lot of moments where like the dialogue kind of drones on just a little too long. You know what I mean? I would have liked a little more action between the little monsters, but the little monsters, they're funny and they're kind of cute.
What year is it? What year is that one?
Cute. I don't.
Is it 80s?
This is probably one of the newer ones, actually. I'm pretty sure this is 2016.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that cover looks straight like the style of cover they do for like back in the day, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it even says on the back that it's paying homage to the 80s Tiny Critter movies, is what it says.
I had never even heard of that one until you mentioned it. I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah. So you can watch it for free on YouTube also. So if anybody wants to check this one out, watch it for free on YouTube before you buy the physical.
Who put that out?
So it's Camp Motion Pictures. Put this one out.
Like a MOD or something?
Yeah, so it's very low key, and it's not rated either. But there's no reason why it wouldn't be like a rated R, because there's gore and there's like you see parts in the movie where the little monsters are like ripping people's fingers and legs.
Sweet.
Wow.
We love
Justin,
to see it.
This one will be right up your alley.
Yeah, it looks right up my alley. I'm definitely going to check that out. It looks awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The Ghastlies.
But technically,
I've never
I
seen
think these are aliens too. I think all my picks were aliens. God dang it.
We can break the rule. We're the Rat Pack. We can do whatever the fuck we want.
I'm pretty sure these are aliens too. Do you guys remember at the beginning of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, where it shows the spaceship coming in and it just looks so fake? That's what it looks like in the beginning of this movie. It's like this little tiny spaceship, and it's all like going these numbers.
I love
Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, you know what? Bringing up like ones like that, like, you know, in talking about if they're aliens, if not, you know, we really want to just bring attention to some of these movies that maybe people haven't seen. But as we were kind of doing our research about some of these and figuring out, like, okay, we're not going to do the dolls because that was just going to be too many things. You know, we came across some weird ones that I don't know if anybody has anything to say about it, but we found that one called like, what was it, like the Dingleberries or whatever? Is that
the Dingleberries? I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Did you ever look into that?
I didn't.
I didn't. No, but there was, and I think it was pretty current. It's probably within the last 10 years. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was
I
just a
looked
poop
into that
monster,
one.
right?
Yeah, it's like they're like turd monsters, and the movie is it's only 38 minutes long.
Oh shit.
Literally, shit. You should watch watch the trailer on YouTube. It looks like it could be super hilarious, but also really stupid because that's exactly what they are. They're like turds with teeth.
Cool. I'm into it.
They're going around and
sold.
they'll like fly up and try and bite somebody, and then they'll have like skid marks on their face and stuff.
Justin's already got a list of stuff he's buying after this stream tonight.
Hell yeah, I love that dumb shit.
There is a DVD release of it too. Just
perfect.
Okay.
That's right up my alley.
I thought it was up mine too. After you pointed it out, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna look into that." And then I was like, "Okay."
I just love that shit. It's just pure nonsense fun. I love it.
There's even people on YouTube who did reviews of that movie, which I watched a couple of those too.
The Suckling. That's what that
Hilarious.
aborted fetus monster movie was.
Oh, I have
The
that.
Suckling.
I've
That's
heard
what
of
good
that
call.
movie. I haven't seen it though.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet though. It's got like that red monster on the front, right?
Yeah. I'm so glad somebody knew what I was talking about. Yeah, that's good.
Look what Lepke says.
Yeah, that's what yeah, that was on Sledgehammer Horror's the Children in Horror, like Killer Kids. I think it was a Killer Kids episode of Sledgehammer Horror. Yeah.
Unborn 2, yeah. So, Justin, you're going to take us home. What's your last one you want to talk about here?
Let's take us home. I think we'll all be able to talk a lot about the different installments of this one. And actually, I don't have the physical media, so you guys can hold it up. But finally, we're going to talk about Ghoulies. I guess we saved the best for last, right?
There's a DVD too.
Garrett's got that super out of print. Oh, you know what? That is in that Empire box set that I have that Christian freaked the fuck out about.
Scream Factory. I have that release. Why did I grab the DVD? That is Scream Factory.
Yeah.
I have that release.
Damn it! Now I'm pissed off. I didn't have that.
Critters.
I did have that one. So yeah. Have you guys seen how many are there? Are there? There's four.
Three. Four. Yeah, there's four.
I think there's four.
Yeah.
So I just watched Ghoulies. I just watched Ghoulies 3 today, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. I think I've only seen 1 and 3, but I had a blast watching 3 today, and that's what I was talking about. Matthew Lillard's first film role is in Ghoulies 3, a character named Stork, where he's basically like a glorified extra in the movie.
Look that picture up because Justin shared it today, and he looks hilarious.
Isn't that hilarious?
He looks like such a dork.
Yeah.
He has like a bowl cut and like
glass. Is 3 go to college, right?
Yeah, 3 is go to college, yeah.
That one
so
still
you can buy a really
release.
squishy box set of these on Amazon right now, of the Blu-rays. You can get
It's like a German box set or something with like media books.
Really?
I think it's a German box set. Isn't it like a regular release? But you can get 1 through 3, but number 4 isn't in there, but it comes with like some extra stuff even.
Really?
I know. I think it was NSM Records put out media books that are really, really cool. I got the Ginger Snaps one like that, but Ghoulies like an incantation thing, right? Like I know in the third one, the teacher reads the comic book that has the incantation. What is the origin of the Ghoul? It's like slipping my mind where the fuck they actually come from.
So
It was like
they're demonic
possession.
little demons. Yeah. So in the first one, it's like at the beginning, it's like this cult comes together and this guy is like doing these incantations and the ghoulies are his like little minions or whatever. And he wants to sacrifice this baby, but then somebody steals the baby and then the baby grows up and then that house or whatever that it was in gets left to the now grown man. And then he goes and he has these feelings of doing the incantation and then he brings back the ghoulies. So they're like little demon minions is what they are.
And they didn't talk in the first two, right? They start talking in the third movie, right?
Yeah, they're just like rah, rah.
Yeah, they just make a little sound. They're full on in the third one. The third one, they're like cracking jokes and just
Are
like
they
being
really? See, I feel like I haven't
just
seen the third one.
one-liners and just puns the whole time. It's hilarious. It's basically like I was saying before, it's like a kids movie almost. Like except there's like random like nudity and kills, but the kills are really over the top and funny. So it just follows the whole spirit of all these movies of just being super silly. But I've never seen 4. Like I can't, if 3 goes the way 3 goes off the rails, I can't imagine where it goes 4.
Yeah,
Well,
I'd be interested in that as well.
So I have 4 here.
That covers something else.
But
What is that?
they've kind of like they're not even like the same creatures anymore.
What the hell?
Oh, what? Yeah.
And like look at the back. Look at the back of the
I wonder if it was a movie they just slapped Ghoulies like the name on.
yeah.
It seems that way because they're not even the same kind of characters
What the
anymore.
fuck?
But part 2 is
I don't
great.
like
That's
that.
like at like it's almost at an amusement park type of deal. It's a cool one. That they really come into their own on that one. But I mean, this was 85. This was like right on the tail of Gremlins, and you could tell that they really. It's funny because I think some people have said that this was made before. I don't know if what the story is with this, but the one thing I will say is it's obviously the Ghoulies, the way it looks in the thing. This was a direct, like, if you like Gremlins, you like this. I remember being a kid in the video store and seeing this image right here. And, you know, the first image and being like, oh my God, like, I cannot wait to see this. And you basically don't really get that, you know, as much as you would think so. So,
yeah,
you know, it's definitely interesting. I like it a lot. At first, I didn't like it as a kid. I didn't really care for it that much because I was expecting Gremlins, but I appreciate it a lot now.
Yeah, I just rewatched the first one and I forgot how good of a movie it was. It's well done. It's well shot. Like even the characters did a great job doing their parts, even though the storyline is kind of ridiculous. And then you have these like little ridiculous monsters running around. It's like, it's not a movie that's self-aware. It's not trying to be funny. It's trying to be like a realistic kind of movie, but it's so well done and it keeps your attention through the whole thing. I forgot how good it was because, you know, the legacy that Ghoulies has, like it's been so long since I've watched it. You just know it's supposed to be like a cheesy B horror movie.
Yeah.
But it's so much better than that. You know what I mean?
The music's good too. Score's good in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Oh, 4 is a Wynorski film. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I should have probably just looked at it, but yeah, man. So again, we'd like to keep these episodes, you know, about an hour and a half. We're about an hour and 42 minutes in right now. So guys, I don't know if you want to have any closing things on basically that was our Rad 9. So if we kind of run through it really quick, like we had Critters, Ghoulies, Gremlins, we had Gates, we had Basket Case, we had Brain Damage, the Ghastlies. I'm trying to think of anything else we may have missed.
Hobgoblins, Bad Milo.
Bad Milo. So if you guys are popping in now, those are the ones that we talked about. Those are the 9 that we picked out. And you guys have mentioned a couple good ones in here. We kind of threw out a couple good ones as well that we kind of found along the way here. One I wanted to bring up, it was a TV movie. And I know I'm surprised none of you guys brought it up in the chat that I've seen. But Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Really cool 70s TV movie. Those things are creepy as hell in that thing. So you guys probably seen that movie. It had a remake with Katie Holmes. Do you remember that when the remake?
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
I didn't know that.
You know, obviously there's also this movie here, these 2 that we were going to bring up, but they're a little more family friendly, and we haven't seen them. I own this, but I haven't seen it in years. Munchies, and there was actually this one, which is weird, Munchie, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched.
I remember that cover more than I remember the movie.
The Munchie guy?
The Munchie on the
on the pizza
or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched this in a long time. It's obviously a kids movie. It says family entertainment on the front, but it's a Corman flick too. And I don't know if Munchie and Munchies or have anything to do with each other. I have no clue, but it was definitely just in my collection. But before we go, I'm gonna try to do this. We got a shirt dropping tonight. So if you're in the chat, you'll be the first to know. If you go on shop.borntoberad.com, and is it shop.mykillerpodcast? Do you know if that's the link?
The link is.
But anyway, if you find Mel's store,
yeah, the link will be below or something
on TeePublic.
It's TeePublic / My Killer Podcast or something like that.
I'm gonna see if I can get this to pop up here, and we can show you guys the designs that are gonna be dropping right after the stream here. So, share screen. I'm not really that good at this, but let's see. Tell me if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
No, you can?
I can see it.
So sick.
All right. So I can't see it now. I can see this. I can see the picture, but I can't see you guys. So, guys, so these are the new shirts. So the green one's going to be on my end, so the My Store, and then there's an exclusive pink that's going to be over on Mel's shop. So if you guys like those horror / Rad Pack sticker shirts, they will be dropping and on sale for the rest of the weekend. So definitely go check those out. If you buy one, please put it on and tag us on social media, and we will share it up. But guys, do you have anything else you want to mention before we bounce off of this thing? Because I don't want to run too late because it is getting a little bit late here.
Well, I'm just glad we. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to give a little shout out to another cute little creature in House 2, the little caterpillar dog. Just wanted to throw that out there for CK because that's like, and
he loves that. He loves that guy. And I did see,
Sorry,
I did see Side Hustle mention the little things from like Krampus, the little
little gingerbread men and shit.
Yeah, there was another cool little creature from. If you guys are familiar with Cat's Eye, I think it's Cat's Eye.
I was gonna bring that one up, but I wasn't sure if it was a troll or not. Is it a troll?
I don't know. Good call. It could be.
I was going to talk about the Ginger Dead Man too, but I wasn't sure how.
Dead Man.
Have you seen that one with Gary Busey?
Oh yeah. There's nothing out there. That's another good one. I forgot about that. The Vinegar Syndrome actually did that one. That is actually hard to find now on Vinegar Syndrome. There's nothing out there. That's got a little creature in it too. But yeah, Justin, let's what do you got to close us off with here?
I was just going to talk about how we kicked off a new series, so I hope everybody's digging the idea of the Rad 9. This is kind of something we're playing around with. So if you guys like the idea of a countdown, not a traditional top 10, but our style, the Rad 9. So maybe if people have ideas for other Rad 9 topics, or other countdowns we can do. If you like this series, be sure and let us know, because I think we all had a fun time doing this one. This was a fun one. So we'll do more Rad 9s if you want to see it.
Recommended by one of our chatters too. Was it Lepke Vision Films? Wanted to do the little rubber monsters or whatever.
Little rubber, huge shout out to him, because that was kind of he inspired this list. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so see, we're taking considerations and we're running with them. So if it was Lepke, like thank you so much for the idea, because we did take that and been like, what, that would be a good idea. So we're definitely down for suggestions because we're gonna try to do one of these once a month. We kind of maybe have what we're gonna come up next in the works. But yes, throw in the comments anything you'd want to see us do. Either review a movie, talk about one movie, talk about another Rad 9, talking about a different subgenre, or whatever it may be. Feel free to throw it in the comments. We'll all check it out, and we'll chat about it. Let's definitely put it on the back burner, because we do want to do one of these every single month. So, but guys, thank you so much in the chat. I know we didn't get to you because we had a lot to talk about. So, thank you all again for just being lively in there. I couldn't even keep up with the thing. And Mel and Justin, thank you as always. Now, before we leave, Mel, do you have anything specific coming up on your channel that you want to talk about or promote or drop or anything like that?
No, not really. Just I drop 2 videos a week. I try and keep it at 2. Sometimes it's 1, depending on how busy I am. I am a part of a movie club where it's kind of like a book club where we watch movies and we review them. It's called Voyage to the Bottom of the Barrel. We review and try and top each other for the world's worst movies, and let me tell you, we've watched some bad ones. So, but we do it on different channels. So I usually share that in my community tab if you guys ever want to join in the fun. We announce the movie ahead of time, so if you want to watch it and chat, you can.
Nice.
Ooh. I'll take one. Oh yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna be doing a show talking about some metal and horror movies, so be ready.
Oh, I have that movie. Yay!
It's a good one. Oh, so okay, cool. Thanks, Ben Grimm. So here's what we want you to do. If you guys still, I'm just trying to start this here on YouTube. I know it's big on Twitch. If you guys still want to talk movies, okay, I want you to jump over to Slaughterport. I guess he's live right now. And I want you to say the Rad Pack sent me. Okay, that's what I want you to do. So if you jump over to his stream, I want you to just flood those comments with Rad Pack and all that kind of stuff in there. All right, so do that. Be a nuisance to him. And
raiding, is that what we're doing?
Yeah, so we call it, so in the Twitch land, I guess they call it a raid. So where you take one stream and they're ending and you say, go raid this other person. So that's what I want you to do is go raid his chat and just start being obnoxious and talk about Rad Pack and all this other stuff. That's what I want you to do. And guys, I want to thank you guys all. I want to thank my co-hosts here. This is always a great time. I have so much fun with these episodes here. You got 2 new shirts out. So you got them on shop.borntobyrad, shop.mykillapodcast. We can even probably link hers into my store if you guys want. But you can get the exclusive sticker tees. Like I said, be the first to get it. I can't wait to get mine. Post yourself wearing any of our merch, and we will repost it on all social medias. You can find me at Born to Be Rad on Twitter. I'm not that active, but I would like to be. So find me on that. TikTok, same thing. Trying to be more active on there. If you're there, follow me. Instagram, I'm very active on. Follow me there. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do that. Like I said, I have Side Hustle Cinema coming on for an episode of Rad Company this week, Wednesday night at 9:30. Thursday night, I'm going to go with Dead Pit. We're going to be doing a big Vinegar Syndrome night going through the sale. And I think we may do Ebola Syndrome commentary that night or review or whatever we're going to do.
That one, huh?
I got roped into that same way Christian did on his Hobgoblin. So that may be Thursday night on my end. And then I think we've got a Vestron Year 1 coming as well. So Justin, anything specific coming from your channel before we sign off here?
I'm gonna hopefully drop my Bodies review on Sunday. I'm gonna try to shoot that. It might drop this weekend. My Bodies review will be coming, and then more vlogs and collecting shit on the dead couch. So, yeah.
Nice. So, guys, thank you again for checking this out. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and like always, stay rad,
stay weird,
stay killer.